So Katie Porter, the person leading the race to replace Gavin Newsom as California's governor, almost stormed out of a CBS interview over a question about needing Trump supporters to win the race. This, in my humble opinion, points to an anger problem, but let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Katie Porter, the former House rep from California, who is leading the gubernatorial race to replace Gavin Newsom as California's governor. Now, Gavin, of course, we know he has term limits and he'll probably run for president in 2028. Now, that'd be a good pick up against whoever we have because it'd be an easy victory. And it doesn't even matter who he has as a VP. It could be AOC, Jasmine Crockett, or whoever. They're going to get stumped into line in really quick and efficient fashion, in my humble opinion. But Katie Porter is what Californians have to look forward to as their next governor. Now, I'm sorry for y'all. I really am. Listen, I'm no big fan of the politics of California and the leadership. And I think this is even worse than Gavin. I think there's anger problems here. And I have more than just this video to prove my point. But first, let's get to the actual video. Of course, I will link to the full thing in the description so you can see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But
let's pause right there. The question was a good question because you have other people in the state. You have others in the state that you're going to need to appeal to in order to win, because you might not get all of the Democrats. Maybe the thought process is, I don't need them because it's a Democrat state anyway, so forget the 40% or more of Californians who are going to vote red. That's not a very good thought process to have, in my humble opinion. So it was a good question.
Let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say.
Why you ain't say that from the beginning? See, look at his face. You see what I'm saying? There's problems. There's anger problems. And again, we're going to get to it.
If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters.
I mean, she's frazzled right here. She's frazzled over a simple question. This is your next governor, California? My. I'm telling you, I feel for you guys. Thank God for Bill Lee, my governor in Tennessee, and Brian Kemp in Georgia. This lady right here, I don't care if she was Democrat, Republican, or whatever. Her temperament is she's too angry, too on the edge, too defensive. That's not someone who would be a good leader. And this is why, and I'm going to just say it, this is why a lot of people don't want to vote for a woman. I'm going to just say it. Don't nobody get offended. I'm just echoing the sentiments of the people.
Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered our follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an
I have
investigative
never had to do
reporter.
this.
Look, the reporter is supposed to do that. That's her job. She's going to ask you a question and then follow-up questions. And if you are given a kind of a strange answer, she wants to kind of dig into it. Okay, why do you think you don't need these people? What is your plan to help the, like, she's doing her job the exact right way. You, Ms. Porter, are not doing your job the exact right way.
Before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of, I'm me, I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience.
But I'm saying, though, like, really, she didn't already moved on. She didn't already moved on to the next thing. The lady, the reporter, great, doing a good job. Katie Porter is just angry. She was angry, and it's not letting it go. So now she can't move forward because she's still stuck a few seconds ago, a minute ago in the past. But you got to move forward. You can't hold that grudge. And you probably hold grudges in your personal life as well, but we're going to get to that.
With you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions.
Now, there was a full interview with other candidates, and I'll link to that in the box. But look, I'm gonna show you some of this body language, right? Look at this.
Governor, because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters?
See that right there? Wow. Katie Porter, ladies and gentlemen, the leading California gubernatorial candidate to replace Gavin Newsom. Now, let's get to an article from 2023. Rep. Katie Porter scalded ex-husband scalp with potatoes. And it's written, it's documents. Let's look at some of this. Again, this is April 13th, 2023. This ain't no super old article from 15 years ago. This is just 2 years ago, okay? While she was, still in politics. Well, she's still in politics right now, but anyway, the former husband of Rep. Katie Porter said the California Democrat frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight. According to divorce records, Matthew Hoffman, who filed for divorce from Porter in 2013, said in the request for a restraining order dated April 30th of that year that he was routinely called an effing idiot and effing incompetent by his rage-prone spouse. Didn't we just see that? Didn't we just see that right there in the interview? I could tell that she has anger problems just from that 3-minute clip we saw. It's obvious. And now we got documentation proving it from her former husband. Now, we continue. He was called effing idiot, whatever, by the rage-prone spouse, who also shattered a glass coffee pot on the kitchen counter in March 2012 when she felt their house wasn't clean enough. She would not let me have a cell phone because she said, "You're too effing dumb to operate it," Hoffman said of Porter 49, who was also been accused of ridiculing former members of her staff. When she gets angry, she will claw and scratch her arms and then say, "Look at what you made me do." Hoffman also said in the records first obtained by DailyMail.com, she regularly says that I am a bad parent in front of the kids. Recently, the children began spitting at me and throwing their food at me, calling me bad daddy. Look at her face. That tells you all you got to know right there. Now, some may like this approach, this Iron Lady, tough bull dagger energy. Some may like that. Personally, I think that's dangerous to have a person who's rage prone in office because you need to make decisions while you're clear headed. If you feel that anger and rage and hate, you cannot make good, sound decisions. And again, I wouldn't care if it was a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. You don't want to have an angry, rage-prone person with their finger on the button. As simple as that. But as I close, I want to say this. Katie Porter, not a good pick for Californians, but again, she is in the lead to replace Gavin. And I would hope they would go for a Chad Bianco, a conservative guy. I would hope they do that, but it's California, unfortunately. So she appears to be in the lead and she might win. And all I could do at that point is just pray for California because it's going to go downhill real quick. She might be what they call an accelerationist, just making it go crash to the end and then rebuild from there. Although I hope that's not what happens. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Katie Porter and that interview with the lady? Do you think that she showed a lot of anger unnecessarily? I mean, getting all frustrated like a little kid, like she's about 5 years old. But this person could become California's next governor. She's leading the race. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. You do not want a rage-prone, angry person in office. Okay, let her do something else. Let her be a heavyweight fighter or something like this. But don't let her be in office, please, California. If you don't listen to me, you don't like my content, just listen to me right now. If you're going to pick one time to listen to ABL, let it be right now. And do not vote for that lady. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.